Hello and welcome to the 20th Annual John D. Spellman Awards for Achievement in Historic Preservation. I'm Jennifer Meisner with King County's Historic Preservation Program, and every year we look forward to recognizing the exceptional work happening around King County to really preserve our heritage and contribute to the health and vitality of our communities. We are really missing the opportunity to celebrate with you in person this year, but we're very excited to bring you our awards program virtually. And given everything that's going on in the world today, we just think it's important to acknowledge and share all the tremendous work being done. And we hope the people you're about to meet and the really special projects and places you're about to see will inspire you as much as they are inspiring us.
These awards for exemplary achievement in historic preservation honor Governor John D. Spellman, the first executive of King County. During John's service as executive, King County established its Historic Preservation Program and Landmarks Commission. Our county's historic structures are a direct link to the people and events that came before us. And it is always a pleasure to learn more about the great preservation work going on across our region.
Hello, my name is Christy True. I'm the Director of King County's Department of Natural Resources and Parks. It's my pleasure to present certificates of designation for two properties recently designated as landmarks in King County: Anthony Farm near Kent and the Black Diamond Depot.
Black Diamond lies about 30 miles southeast of Seattle, between Covington and Enumclaw. It's one of the small coal mining towns that flourished in the Green River Coal District during the late 1800s. The Black Diamond Depot served the Columbia and Puget Sound Railroad, once the only way in and out of the area.
Hi there, my name's Keith Watson. I'm the president of the Black Diamond Historical Society, and we have a building here that's 134 years old. This is the historic center of Black Diamond, and this was a coal mining town. It started out in 1882. There was 8 coal mines here. But this was the center right here. This is where the passenger train came. And all the information, the payroll, the newspapers, landed here. So when the passenger train came into town, there was mobs here, mobs of people. Come on in. People came here from all over the world, engineers and specialists, blacksmiths and all kinds of people that are supporting the mine operation. We basically have artifacts here that are priceless because you can't replace them. See that picture up there in the middle of the lower row of photos? Is my dad on the left. And he was the principal of the school at that time in 1941. This is the roots of so many people. We have groups of seniors that come here, groups of car club people that come, and of course the schools. You hear stories about their parents, grandparents, and uncles and aunts that lived here. Put in a wall with over 1,100 names on it of all the miners in Washington State that died in the mines. So maintenance of the grounds, maintenance of the building, that's on us. And we're all volunteer. It makes all the things that we've done in this building, we're proud of it, really proud of it.
It's one of the best historical societies in the state. You should go down and see their museum there, right there at the depot. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing, and it's no surprise at all to those of us who know the community that worked hard to support it, that it received this award. So congratulations to the Black Diamond Historical Society and the residents of Black Diamond for this great work.
The historic Anthony Farm is located between Kent and Auburn in an area that was once an early agricultural settlement. The relatively intact property offers a glimpse back at what farming used to look like in the region.
I'm from South Dakota. My family was farmers, I just like playing in the dirt.
It's my pleasure to present a certificate of designation for a recently designated landmark in King County, the Anthony Farm near Kent.
About 1978, a friend and I were starting growing strawberries. Thought, well, okay, I'll buy land here. It's about the best soil in the world.
The Anthony Farm is one of the few surviving intact historic farmsteads in the White River Valley area of southern King County. This region contains some of the richest agricultural land in Washington.
When we had U-Pick customers early on, some of the moms would come with their little kids, and years later, those little kids were bringing their little kids. So you know it's gotta be a connection there. I was always interested in eventually kind of restoring the buildings. When my farming days were over, along came these two characters over here, and they had experience doing restorations, and I thought, they're the ones I need.
He's done a great job protecting the farmland of King County, and part of restoring this landmark is keeping the farmland in use.
We want to teach the history to the community. They don't build them like this. You're never going to find another one of these. They're all different.
Our life took a turn when we found this farm, and it was worth it. This place needed to be saved and returned to public use and not bulldozed and commercial farmed. Last year we returned it to the community as a pumpkin patch, but we will be bringing the berries back too.
The John D. Spellman Award for Adaptive Reuse recognizes exemplary projects that infuse new life into historic buildings by repurposing them for modern uses while retaining their unique characteristics. Sarah Cox, Emily Ridout, Kelsey Wilson, and Emily Nelson did just that in transforming the 1904 Prescott Harshman House in Falls City into a bustling coffee house and community gathering place. It is my pleasure to award a 2020 John D. Spellman Award to this dynamic partnership for their adaptive reuse of the Prescott Harshman House as Aroma Coffee Company.
The Prescott Harshman House is in Falls City, a community about 30 miles east of Seattle. The house is now home to a new business venture, Aroma Coffee.
Aroma Coffee Co. is a community building coffee house. We see ourselves as a neutral convener for building community.
This for us has been a 13-year dream. We are thrilled to show off this awesome building that has been closed to the public for 13 years and who so many people have a story about. We keep meeting people who was born here, or they worked here, or they lived here, or their best friend lived here. There's just so much history in this town.
In the evening when I sit alone at dreaming.
The 1904 Prescott Harshman House has been a prominent feature in downtown Falls City for more than 100 years. In 1912, Newton and Julia Harshman moved into the home built by the Prescott family. Here, they operated their family business, the Harshman Telephone Company. It connected Tolt, now Carnation, and the Northern Pacific Railroad Depot in Falls City. The company operated for decades.
This is where the first communications in the valley began. And so now, more communication, person to person, is always going to be buzzing through here. And it's very exciting.
Being a historic landmark, everything that we did needed to be approved. If we took out any trim that needed to be replaced, it was cut to the exact same as the original trim. They requested that anything that comes down, if you can put it back, please do. And so our front of our bar is shiplap from the walls of the building. We'd taken a door upstairs and we put it on a slider instead of just removing it from the space altogether. So things like that.
The thing that surprises people the most is that there's an upstairs, and we don't allow kids up there, but people are so thrilled to go find a nook in a bedroom and just cozy away and read a book or study or work quietly. There's so many nooks and crannies, the awesome backyard space, the front porch. We've had groups distantly gather. We've had moms out on blankets in the backyard with babies crawling around. There's just a lot of safe, quiet spaces.
All right.
I love coffee. This is my passion and this is what I was meant to do. So to get to do it with these two and to do it in our own community, my husband and I and our two girls live right up the road, and so we get to serve coffee to our neighbors.
Though the three of us have put heart and soul into this, we are a tiny piece of what brought this to life. We did a large fundraising campaign in the middle of a pandemic, and our community helped us raise $30,000. We could not be here without that support. Sarah's dad and Kelsey's husband managed this entire build out as a gift to us. And in combination, the Nelson family. These are people who've been rooted in our community, who've helped build up a local economy here, and they saw the vision of this long before we got to tell them face to face about it.
The thing to me that is so charming is that it's a home. And so when people come in, we want them to feel like they're home.
We pause all the time. We walk around the bar and we go, you and you live on the same street. You and you go to the same church. Do you guys know each other? And we're just constantly watching this community form.
We also hope that sharing our story in whatever avenue, whether it's through the historic preservation or through local chambers, just encourages people to stick with their dreams, even when it takes a lot longer than you think, even when it seems impossible, because it's so worth it.
I'm Kelsey Wilson, representing the three owners of Aroma Coffee Co. We just want to say thank you so much to the King County Historic Society for this honor and award. It's been just such a gift to get to preserve and restore this beautiful Prescott Marshman home.
Buildings are, of course, integral to our daily lives, and they provide ready and tangible links to our past. So when we think about historic preservation, we often focus on protecting buildings. But preserving cultural landscapes, defined broadly as a mutual shaping of human and natural worlds, is equally important. Cultural landscapes don't simply encompass a single structure or fit into a set time period. They reflect an ongoing and creative conversation between people and their environment. From them, we can experience the cultural and aesthetic values of their creators and learn how they interacted with their environment over time. I am so pleased to present a 2020 John D. Spellman Award to the Friends of Mukai for their tremendous efforts in restoring this important cultural landscape on Vashon Island, the Mukai Garden.
Mukai Farm and Garden is located on beautiful Vashon Island between Seattle and Tacoma. The island is connected to both cities by ferry. Mukai Farm is a little north of the center of the island, in an area that's been used for agriculture since the 1880s.
The first Japanese who came to Vashon Island were farm laborers coming to America to find a better life for themselves, and they launched a very thriving agricultural community.
B.D. Mukai came as an immigrant without speaking the language at all and blossomed into one of the most successful strawberry farmers on Vashon. He developed an innovative way of packing the strawberries himself here on the site, and once the berries were packed here, they were shipped all over America.
This garden was designed and put into place by Kuni Mukai, the wife of B.D. Mukai.
As far as we know, it's the first Japanese garden designed by a woman in America.
I'm so pleased to be here today to talk about the recognition of the Mukai Farm and Garden. The John D. Spellman Award for Restoration acknowledges the vital role landmark stewards play in reviving and continuing the cultural heritage of a community. This year's John D. Spellman Award for Restoration goes to the Friends of Mukai for their exceptional work in restoring the Mukai Garden on Vashon Island.
This is an example of a local farm with a lot of important history.
We're telling a story of what was here, back in the garden's inception. It's a place that needs to be preserved, and it deserves to be preserved.
In 2016, the Friends of Mukai started to restore the house. We've restored a major part of the garden, and we're now moving ahead to restore the fruit-bearing plant.
We can take pride and joy in what's done. Now it's our generation's responsibility to maintain it and push it forward.
On behalf of Friends of Mukai, thank you so much for this recognition of the hard work of our community in recreating Cooney's Garden.
Long-standing local businesses play a vital role in maintaining the cultural identity and heritage of a community. Their function goes beyond the sale of goods and services. They provide stability in our rapidly changing society and comfort to customers new and old who know instinctively this is a business they can depend on. The Cranach Dairy Farm has been a mainstay in Enumclaw and the surrounding community for more than a century. Its third-generation operators, Mike and Leanne Cranach, have maintained the foundational traditions of this family business, while introducing innovative practices and technologies to keep it relevant and thriving. I am so pleased to present the 2020 John D. Spellman Legacy Business Award to Mike and Leanne Cranach.
The Cranach Dairy Farm is located amidst the flat, level farmlands known as the Enumclaw Plateau, a scenic area nestled against the foothills of the Cascades in the shadow of Mount Rainier.
Welcome everybody to Cranach Dairy in Enumclaw, Washington. My husband Mike and I are the third generation operators of this farm.
Cows are being fed as we speak. I see a milk truck out front waiting to pick up our milk. Things are happening. So it's all good.
Anyone who has lived in the Enumclaw area for a while knows of the Cranach Dairy Farm.
Mike's grandfather originally immigrated from Slovenia. He purchased the original 80-acre property and 13 cows. And a lot of these girls here, if you look way, way back in their lineage, they date clear back to the original herd in 1912. I know, right?
My dad, in his early years, oxen were common, believe it or not. It's come a long ways.
The John D. Spellman King County Executives Award for Legacy Business acknowledges the vital role long-standing businesses play in really maintaining the cultural identity and heritage of a community. And this year's Legacy Business Award is going to the Cranach family for maintaining the operation of this dairy farm for over 100 years.
Congratulations to Mike and Leanne. We are so grateful for your work as you recognize our long history of agriculture in the county.
50 years ago, just here in Enumclaw, we had over 500 dairies, and now we're down to a dozen. Being a dairy farm is definitely a community, and those communities are several. Our employees, many of our workers have been here for 10 years or more. We partner with a lot of local breweries in the Puget Sound area, and we feed their spent grain. So that's a way of recycling. And the manure from these girls helped grow the third largest pumpkin ever grown in 2017.
I would say the majority of the people in and around our community really appreciate what we do. How we do it.
You know, we produce about 10 to 12,000 gallons of milk just at our farms every day. We've had friends and neighbors that moved here and they say, you know, I used to think I would hate living by a dairy farm because of the smell, but now I really like it, and I know that after I'm gone on a long trip for work, I know when I'm almost home because I smell your farm. And so we kind of take that as a compliment. I'm Leanne Cranach from Cranach Dairy, and thank you, King County, from Cranach's past and present for this wonderful Legacy Award.
The John D. Spellman Preservation Leader Award is presented to an individual whose commitment to advancing heritage and historic preservation has made a lasting impact on our community. I'm delighted to present a John D. Spellman Award to Thomas K. Hitzroth for his public service and leadership in chairing the King County Landmarks Commission and for relentlessly researching and sharing the fascinating history of East King County.
Redmond is on King County's east side on the north shore of Lake Sammamish. Tom Hitzroth has investigated the early history of Redmond and nearby Marymore Park.
Everybody comes here and sees it as it is. This has a much longer history than most people think it might.
I would describe Tom as a forensic investigator of local history.
The horse barn used to be right over here. This is the art gallery. It was demolished in the 30s. His narrow gauge railroad. There is the little wagon that was on it.
Once he gets on the trail of a story, he leaves absolutely no stone unturned.
This is Mary Nettleton, for whom Mary Moore is named. And this was taken the year before she died. The longer I was here and the more I learned about the history of this place, the more interesting it became. James Kleiss purchased the property here for $5,000. The windmill, he actually sent someone to Holland to take the measurements of a genuine windmill. And then he built it about 1/4 size. The farm has been through a lot of owners, and it was a public outcry. Why don't we make it a park?
The John D. Spellman King County Executives Preservation Leader Award acknowledges an individual whose commitment to advancing heritage and historic preservation has made a lasting impact on our community. And I can't think of anyone more deserving of this award than Tom Hitzroth.
I sat down with the Redmond Historical Society and we worked out a process to do a walking tour of the downtown. So now I've been doing them 16 years.
I've had the privilege of going on several walking tours with him. I live in Redmond, and he told me things about Redmond that the average person wouldn't have a clue about.
People wanted to know, what kind of a community am I living in? Where's it been? Where's it come from?
He is a wealth of history in his head, and he makes it all come alive.
Something I'm working on right now. Land ownership by women around here was really interesting. The Grand Central Hotel was owned by Mrs. Evers, not her husband. The Hotel Walther was owned by Mary Walther, not by Fred. And this is where I think a lot of the development and character of the town really got going, was when women started becoming an equal part of what was going on around here. I want whatever I do to be as accurate as it possibly can be, versus just an accumulation of data and photos and my interpretation of what I think they're telling me. I'm Tom Hitzroth, and I would like to thank the county for giving me this award. Being on the King County Landmarks Commission was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. And whether it's the King County Landmarks Commission or the city's Landmarks Commission, when I look at a landmarked property or one we've done a certificate of appropriateness on, I have the feeling that I had just a little bit to help that along. And what's better than that?
We hope you've enjoyed our first ever virtual awards program, and we'll be happy to share the links to the videos. Just contact Jennifer Meisner. We look forward to sharing more preservation success stories with you next year.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. I'd like to take a moment to thank all of the current and past Landmarks Commissioners for their service and dedication to this important work. I'd like to acknowledge the staff at King County's Historic Preservation Program, Todd Scott, Sarah Steen, and Phil Letourneau, and thank them for all they do to identify and protect the places that matter for all of the people of King County. And last but not least, I'd like to thank all of our award recipients for the tremendous effort and time they've put into their projects and businesses, which are really making a difference in our communities. They are the true stars of this show.